Hello, and welcome back to Nathan Bell's podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Today, Nathan would like to talk about feminism.
Yeah, well, my mother's a big feminist. She's always taught me to treat women with respect and to treat women as equal. So I've been raised around that thinking, and I've always agreed with that. And I definitely am of the view that women are entitled to equal rights and close the pay gap. You know, women should get paid the same amount as men, and they're working on that. And women shouldn't be victims of abuse or sexual harassment, and women deserve to be treated with respect. You know, it's crazy if you look back to like the 50s and stuff in this country and around the world, how women were subjected to ongoing sexual harassment. You know, it used to be you wouldn't get in trouble off the police if you walked up to a random woman in the street and grabbed her on the ass, slapped her on the ass. Now you can't call a woman love or you get in trouble. And I think that's right, because, you know, women don't need to be sexually assaulted walking down the street by strangers. That's not acceptable. But there was a time when that was acceptable and you wouldn't get in trouble for that. And aren't we glad we've moved away from that? You know, nobody needs to be subjected to that sort of ongoing harassment and sexual discrimination. You know, it's interesting. You know, I think you can say I like to think women and men basically have the same psychology, and society puts all of these labels on us. And that is to say that when we're born, we're a blank slate and we learn our psychology through our lives. Now, I think you can say there's some aspects where genetics and stuff influences how we behave. You could potentially say that because women's bodies are built to bear children, that they're more prone towards motherly tendencies and towards empathy for the child and empathy and compassion, and that women are more compassionate because they're programmed to raise children and to care for children. I don't know if that's valid, and I don't know what the research says about that. But I like to think that everyone's psychology is a blank slate when they're born, and society programs our psychology. So to say things like, a woman is irrational because she's a woman, remarks like that used to be very common in our society. Men would say, oh, women are naturally irrational. That's rubbish. You know, there are many rational women. There are many great scientific rationalists and logical thinkers who are women. And some people say, oh, men are more naturally logical. And, you know, that's rubbish. There are many illogical, irrational men. So I wonder if there is any genetic reason why you could validly say that some men are more logical and some women are more irrational. I don't think there's much credibility to that sort of talk. I don't know what the research says. As I said, I think because women bear children, some part of their programming from a genetic level is more along, and they could develop a psychology more conducive to raising children better. But I don't know what the research says about that. But generally speaking, I think our psychologies are a blank slate when we're born, and society and our parents and our upbringing programs our psychology. And that's generally my thinking on it. So to say that a woman is this way because she's a woman, or a man is that way because he's a man, that's all just rubbish. You know, we're all equal. So it's an interesting discussion to have, and you can have a scientific discussion about it. And I don't know specifically what the research says, but I certainly believe that we should treat all people as deserving of equal rights and equal human rights, and equal respect. You know, human beings deserve to be treated with respect, man, woman, or child. People should be treated with respect, and people shouldn't be subjected to discrimination or viewed as less valuable by our society because of their gender or sex. You know, women are just as valuable as men, and in many ways women are more valuable than men. And there are many great thinkers and responsible leaders who are women, and women do make great leaders. All those ideas are outdated, and thank God our society has abandoned those ideas through the work of the feminist movement. So I absolutely believe in treating people as equal. And as I said, you know, to say that a woman is less productive in the workplace because she's not as physically capable. Yes, women are generally of smaller stature, and maybe they have less dense muscles. But to say as a generalisation that women should be paid less because they're less effective or less productive, that's garbage. Women should be paid the same as men, and so close the wage gap. I absolutely support that. So yeah, there's some thoughts on feminism, and I'm glad our society is moving towards treating people with equal respect and equal dignity, and the sexual harassment in the street is now unacceptable in our society. I'm very aware of how things were in the 50s, and a lot's changed, and it's good, and we want things to keep changing in this positive direction. Now, our society used to think that people could be treated like dirt, and in the 50s we used to treat people like dirt, and it's the same thing with Aboriginals and people of ethnic groups. Our society used to discriminate extensively against minority groups, and we've moved away from that, particularly in the last 20 years, and that's a positive change that is happening, and we need to continue moving down that path towards treating all human beings as deserving of love, dignity and respect, and treating all human beings as being valuable and worthy of, as I said, love, dignity and respect. So yeah, my mother taught me to be a feminist and to respect women and to treat women right, and also not to view women as just sexual objects. Women are not just objects there for your sexual pleasure. They're human beings with feelings and emotions, and they want well in life, and they want to live good, rewarding, happy, fulfilling lives. So women aren't just there for you to want to have sex with all the time and to view as sexual objects. And that's what my mother taught me. So am I just programmed that way? Maybe I'm wrong and it shouldn't be that way, but that's certainly what I think. So I'm definitely a male who would say I am a feminist. I certainly believe in those values of equality and treating people with dignity and respect. So drop a comment in the comment section about what you think about feminism.